Back with our talk around on Inside Tennessee, Don Bosch, Eddie Smith, former representative in Knoxville. Eddie, in the break, Don asked if you were going to run. That's important for our viewers. They're going to want to know. Do you have any interest in getting back into politics?
You know, right now, no. I am really enjoying where I'm serving at Child Help here in Tennessee, just helping the at-risk, neglected, and abused children in our community. So, no, I am going to do what I am doing for a while.
Let's talk about redistricting because you certainly had an interest in that for quite some time as an elected leader. What can you add to that part of our conversation this morning?
You know, so I think you have to look at a couple of things. One is just how much has the state grown in the last decade? And if you go back to 2010, our population has grown to almost 600,000 people in that time. So it made it very difficult because if you watch the committee hearings, which I want to applaud the legislature for the openness and transparency, not everyone will agree with that, but at least people did have a chance to watch, give input. But Middle Tennessee saw this most tremendous amount of growth. So they started on the east and west part and moved in, especially for congressional redistricting. Then when you look at the House, you know, there's a lot of back and forth going on there. Don mentioned some of it earlier. The former House district that I have moving to Murfreesboro and just changes that are coming to Knox County. It's not an easy process, and sausage making is not pretty, but I think it's one of those things that when you look at it as a whole, our majority-minority district is being kept intact here in Knox County, and I think that's important because you know, that community deserves representation in Nashville just as every community does. So I think you just have to look at what's been taking place in the population growth in our state.
Don, as a Democrat, this is a supermajority. Republicans control both the Senate and the House, and it's a walkout majority. Democrats don't even have to show up for them to get business done and passed. What are you most concerned about this session?
Well, I think if the session overall, you know, I always get nervous with the social engineering that gets attempted for two reasons. One, it really ends up being against the will and unnecessary of many of our citizens. And two, it almost always lands us in litigation that costs us unnecessary state dollars. That's the first thing. The second thing is, again, the issues with health care and providing health care to use the phrase, to the working poor, to the people that fall in those margins. We have so many opportunities that because of politics, and frankly because of conservative politics, we've not taken advantage of, that we could help literally save lives today. And even given the argument that maybe these dollars go away, let's cross that bridge when it happens. But right now, we have a surplus and we need to help people.
Don Bosch, Eddie Smith, we appreciate the conversation. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you next week on Inside.